guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the people that commented, all the old school homies, all the new subscribers that I got that were coming on these videos that watched the whole thing. I can't believe I was getting comments saying I watched the whole series. I thought I was probably gonna get like 100 views for video. I wasn't really expecting more than that. Because I know that it's incredibly long and there were a lot of parts, and so I was thinking that I was just going to reach a few people, but this was just a passion project that I did. I wasn't doing it to get clicks or anything, and it took a long fucking time. The debate itself was originally 3.5 hours, and then all of the extra footage that I added, you know, the clips and everything, that it ended up to be a total of like 5 hours, 14 minutes, and 27 seconds. I don't know how many seconds, but it was like 5 hours and 14 minutes. So thank you for the people that watched and that commented and that left some really also good information in the comment sections. Please share this. I'm going to be uploading this to other forms of social media within the next week or so. So thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm glad that I was able to get to some people. I'm just to the point where I'm not trying to reach people that don't want to be reached, but the people that want to be reached and they want to know this information, I will give it all to you. I'll give you whatever I can. So, so just some thoughts, some afterthoughts on this process too, because I had to, when I was in it, I really wasn't, you know, when you're in it, I had a different amount of focus and attention. So I'm usually really hot-headed. But you know, during the debate, people left some comments like, how did you keep a cool head? I usually probably wouldn't have kept a cool head, but I think that I just see what they're doing now with anti-vaxxers. They're trying to make us look crazy, that we're irrational. I wouldn't even be surprised if they have a false flag and they try and blame it on an anti-vaxxer. I mean, they're trying to do stuff because the truth is coming out. They can only hold it down, the truth, for so long before, you know, it emerges. And anyway, so in my mind, I guess the whole time I was thinking that I did have to maintain my calm, at least in this debate, because I know that they were probably waiting for any clip or something that they can use to like cut it up and make me look crazy. So I was really watching my words. I kept my cool. And there's also a part of me that's just like, I feel bad for people who just really don't know. I'm trying to have more compassion. It's something I'm practicing, just because I get really livid. You know, there are a lot of arrogant people. You know, Halsey, you know, his ego is so big that, you know, no matter what information I presented in front of him was going to be good enough, right? In one breath, he's screaming about like, oh, there can never be a double-blind placebo study. That's unethical. And then when I bring up a primate study, he's like, oh, well, that's monkeys, so that doesn't count. I was like, oh, well, okay, well, how are we supposed to test stuff on these vaccines? So you're just going to give vaccines to people without knowing if they're safe or efficacious? Because they haven't been tested. You know that, right? You're just giving shit to people, not knowing the consequences, not knowing, you know, it's a big old experiment that they're putting onto the human race. So they just really thought that, it's kind of funny, they just really thought that I was just going to come on and talk about essential oils and granola bars. So, you know, I think that we have certain and I'm guilty of this as well, okay? But we have certain stories that we're programmed to believe about people that look a certain way. So I'm a very young looking black girl, woman, whatever you have to call it. So I think some people just get confused when I'm not like dancing in a music video, because I'm not supposed to be intelligent. I'm not supposed to know all this stuff, right? So it kind of like flips the world, and they have a really hard time dealing with that, you know? So I'm used to it. I get it all the time. But it just does me, you know, wonderful energy. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It makes me feel good when I'm able to just shut people down and make them look stupid, or make them at least question, you know, their own social programming. And I'm hoping that, you know, some of them actually look into this. But the thing that really pisses me off is, you know, and I got him on video saying that he would post my links, and he's like, I want people to see the other side. And, you know, I just think that people that have a, you know, should have a microphone, you know, I think that people that disagree with me should have a bigger microphone. I was like, you're so full of shit. You're such a fucking liar. You're such a hypocrite. And I'm going to expose you. And I did. So please share, get this out, show what a fucking hypocrite this is. Because the thing that's really messed up is that there are people that probably watch his channel and follow him that could have this information, right? And since he's a person that talks about Jewish issues, you know, there was a case that just happened in Israel where they had to recall a hepatitis B shot because a lot of Jewish people, if you care enough about Jewish people, your people, Halsey, were getting harmed by vaccines. But does it not count because it's a vaccine, right? Nazis can kill Jews, but vaccines can't. I mean, I don't know, dead Jews are dead Jews, right? Dead people are dead people, right? It shouldn't matter what kills them, it's the fact that they're getting killed. Okay, so dead babies are dead babies, right? So I bet you'd be outraged if a Nazi killed a dead baby, but a vaccine kills a dead baby? It's okay because it's for the greater good. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if, you know, he has some invested interest in the medical industry, if he's in the industry of self. You know, a lot of people that have, you know, that are so stubborn about understanding, they can understand other forms of corruption, but when it comes to the pharmaceutical industry, it's like a blank slate. It's like you can't get through to them. So a lot of times, you know, just in my 9 years that I've been doing this, I've noticed a lot of people that I personally know, they either have some invested interest, not financially, but maybe they're into prescription pills or they're on something, or, you know, maybe they vaccinate their own children and they don't want to believe what they did is wrong. And for those people, I would say you need to get over yourselves, because if you are not going to look into this and you're going to keep vaccinating your own children, you're just going to compound the problem. Maybe they may not get autism, but they can get cancer later on. And you're basically, you're injecting them with stuff which is ineffective. By the way, there's an article that just came out, which there are actually lots of articles, but I'm surprised to see this in a mainstream article that talks about the measles vaccine and how they're worrying that the vaccine doesn't work, because it never did. It never did. Never did, right? All these outbreaks that we're hearing about, people are already vaccinated. And they've also traced in a lot of these outbreaks, the vaccine strain is the one that started the outbreak, not wild measles, because they can trace it. There's like a genotype thing that they can do. They know what it looks like, and they can test it in people's titers. They know if it's the vaccine strain or not. But a lot of the times what the authorities are doing too, they're just discounting those cases because they don't, you know, they don't want to like look stupid, because they are stupid. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the deal is, but you know, shame on you, Halsey, for depriving your viewers of information, and shame on you also because you tried to make me look bad, because I said I was going to do something and you said you were going to do something and you didn't do it. And it makes it look like I chickened out, but you know, months later, because I'm busy, I have a job, I have stuff to do, and editing takes a long time. Props to editors and you guys that are out there. I feel your pain. I know. Whoa, dude, you guys are some hardworking folks, because I mean, I did the basic editing and I was like worn out. It took hours and hours and hours to do all that stuff. So anyway, I think I left links in all of the descriptions, except maybe for 18, because I think 17 and 18 were about the same. But like I said in previous videos, if I did say something you want to study, you want a reference for something, I have mostly everything that I talked about. So you can either, you can message April and I. Fastest way right now is on Facebook. We do have an email, info@truthortalk.com. But the fastest way to, you know, just email us, or best, like I said, best way is Facebook us. And me and there are a couple of other administrators in Truth or Talk too on Facebook, and we can get back to you, because we're basically we've accumulated a lot of research in the 9 years we've been doing this, and we're building a database, because we noticed that as the truth is coming out, they're removing articles off the internet. They're taking stuff down. They want to make PubMed, which is supposedly a public place for lay people and doctors alike, to get studies and abstracts and information, because they're pissed that, you know, the anti-vaxxers are using it and, you know, to their advantage, that now they want to make that public. I don't know when or if that's going to happen, but that's another thing that's been circulating around, right? They're censoring people. They're censoring people off of social media. They're censoring vaccine hashtags. So, you know, if their science was so perfect and they were right, why do they have to censor things? That should be a red flag right there. If you guys aren't like, you know, if you're still staunchly pro-vax, but you should understand, right? Because if you can stand up that for conservatives getting censored for other points of view, like their political views, then you should see that there's something wrong with anti-vaxxers also getting censored. And you have to ask yourself, you think people are really, if anti-vaxxers were stupid, you must have a very low opinion of humanity to think that just some people, you know, some crazy people are able to influence people to the point where we have to be put on the world threat list. Now anti-vaxxers are on the world threat list for, it's called vaccine hesitancy is now a global threat. And now they're trying to say that being an anti-vaxxer is a disease. It's a contagious disease. And I'm like, get that shit. That's kind of, it's scary and funny at the same time, right? That they can't admit that they're wrong to the point they have to make up shit, right? They're doubling down on stuff. They're trying to mandate vaccines in this country. You know, a lot of conservatives aren't talking about this, but they're trying to mandate, not in this country, but other places in the world, because there are other places too where children are dropping dead. They're having these vaccine campaigns. Children are becoming paralyzed. In Pakistan a few years ago, you know, they figured out that their children were getting paralyzed by vaccines, and they were killing healthcare workers, okay? Africa, Italy has they're not playing. They're taken to the streets and stuff with all of their anti-vaccine protests, you know. But in Argentina, you know, people are starting to question, and they made it so you can't renew your driver's license or your passport until you get your vaccine card fully up to date. So that's something they're trying to push here. They just took away the religious exemption in New York. They take away the medical exemption, or they're trying to take away, I'm not sure if that passed yet, I have to check, in California. But what they're doing, they actually have arrested one doctor, and they're going after another doctor, because this doctor, I know his name is KENNETH STOLLER, look this up, where they want him to release his patient records of all the people that he has given medical exemptions are, and that's illegal because that violates patient-doctor confidentiality. But they're doing this shit anyway, and he's countersued. He's a baller, right? He's thug. He's like, I ain't taking this shit. So he's countersuing them. But still, the fact that they're even trying to do it is insanity. Okay. Is insanity. And the fact that so many people have bought in the fact that measles is a deadly disease, have bought into the fact that, you know, that their vaccines don't work unless you get vaccinated. Okay, it just shows you how deep the programming goes, that people can't even think for themselves. They can't even use their common sense, where you have people that are treating people that are anti-vaxxers as second-class citizens, right? And this whole thing that, you know, Nazis were evil in it, you know, it was only the evil Germans that did shit. But you can see people like Halsey, you know, that talks about Jewish issues, who's really no better than a Nazi if he thinks this is okay. So you can be Jewish and be an asshole Nazi. You can be black. You can be white. You can be whatever, but the fact that, you know, this is okay, and it's okay to censor information from people that want it, and it's okay to pretend like, you know, you're going to do something and then you do the opposite, but you try and be all righteous and stuff. Wow, what a horrible human being. I mean, it's, you know, it's sad, it's disappointing. You think somebody that's supposed to be on your side, but then you find out who they really are, right? So, yeah, I just want to, you know, there's a lot going on, but I think that there's a doctor that I follow. Her name is Suzanne Humphries. I adore her. I think she's brilliant. I've learned a lot from her. I watch almost all of her lectures. And she's, you know, I think she put up a post the other day saying that she's tired of everybody saying that we're winning because we're not. And I agree with her on most things, but and she's saying that because, you know, they're pulling all this forced vaccination shit, right? They're saying that the doctors, I know what I forgot to say, are only allowed to give 5 exemptions per year for people that don't want to get vaccinated, for the medical exemption, mind you. And that, think of the hundreds of patients that they have. They're only allowed to give 5 per year. If you give more than 5, then they're going to come after you. That's some bullshit, okay? Also, they're saying that they're trying to pass that a person can only get, they have to experience anaphylactic shock, which is basically, you know, if you touch, when you swell up and you can die 8 times before you can get a vaccine exemption. So this shit's getting real, you guys, okay? So you basically have to have a near-death experience like 8 times before you can get a vaccine exemption. You have to die and come back like 8 times. Okay. But you know, if you know the truth, you will never vaccinate. And I think a lot of people that really know the truth are going to pull their kids out of school if they can, and then they're going to try and come after the homeschoolers, which they have, but they failed a couple of times because the homeschoolers are really, they know their shit and they're very strong, powerful community, but they're going to come after them too. So, I mean, I think we are winning just because they have to do this shit. Now the question is, do you have the balls to stand up and fight? Are you going to just, you know, vaccinate yourself or your kids, you know, to keep your job? Or are you going to walk off your job? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I would do, honestly. I'm just putting that out there, like, this is what's coming, because they're not going to back down. Okay, so the best thing that you can do is empower yourself, and then use this information to empower as many people as you can, because the more people that know the truth, the more, you know, you're safe, basically, right? The more people you have will stand by you, the more people you have a family. You know, I'm telling people now that come to me for advice, if they're gonna have a baby, if they know, you know, I'm like, find the family members that support you, and let them know and educate them as much as possible. Educate yourself as much as possible, because they're also taking babies in hospitals and vaccinating them without the parents' consent. And they're also, if you're refusing vaccination, they've been calling CPS on the parents and taking your kids away, or the babies away, and then they're just gonna vaccinate them anyway. So this is beyond fucking evil. And anybody who is with this agenda is beyond fucking evil. Anybody that doesn't want people to have information because of their big ass ego is beyond fucking evil. So don't be evil. Don't be like Google. All right. And that's all I have to say, guys. All right. Peace and love. Bye-bye.